This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we carefully explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. This is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we are here to go over minute number 100 of the Goonies today. Chris, can you believe that we have made it to minute number 100?
I can't believe we've made it this far.
I know. Well, one more episode, and we're actually going to be a minute past Ghostbusters Minute, because that came to 100 minutes.
It was just 100. Okay.
That we covered. We're going to be going up to minute number 107, and that's going to be the final episode of Goonies Minute. That's going to be Wednesday, May 10th. And for every episode between tomorrow and then, we're going to have a special guest on. Starting tomorrow, that's going to be for minutes number 101 through 105, we are going to have screenwriter and comic book author Mark Landry on to talk to us about the movie, one, from a screenwriting standpoint, and two, just as a huge fan of the Goonies. So Mark is going to be on with us for minutes number 101 through 105, and then on 106, we're going to be having our good friend Jeff back, Folky J, who is going to be helping us determine if what Rosalita finds would be enough to save the Goondocks. And I think we'll be surprised. And then on the very final episode, that's minute number 107, we're going to have Kyle, my co-host from both Ghostbusters Minute and Jurassic Park Minute, helping us close things out. That's going to be it, man. That's going to be it. We got 7 more of these things.
And then we'll just pick up with a couple more minute shows right after that. No time for the weary.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I know, man. It's been a long run. I wish I could turn back time.
That's right. That's right. You kind of look like Cher.
With all this black curly hair I have. Yeah.
I don't look like Cher. You do.
No, you don't have quite as much hair.
That's right.
No, she or I.
All right, let's turn to the next minute, which is 100.
In the previous minute, the Goonies had made their way over to a boulder that was blocking an exit to the cave. The cave continued to crumble around them. The Fratellis had jumped from the inferno and were quickly swimming over towards the Goonies. At minute 100, Data, Mikey, and Brand are trying their best to lift the boulder. Mikey yells for them to push. Sloth runs over to help them. He puts his back to the boulder and tries to lift it with all his strength. One by one, the Goonies run under Sloth and into a tunnel leading to the beach. Ma Fratelli yells to Sloth to save her. At that moment, Chunk crawls underneath Sloth to make his escape. Chunk tells Sloth to come on. Caught between escaping with Chunk or saving his mother, Sloth is overwhelmed with emotion. He tells Chunk that he loves him and pushes him into the tunnel. Sloth lets out a final scream as the boulder collapses, presumably sealing them inside the cave forever. Chunk screams for Sloth as Brand pulls him out of the tunnel and onto the beach. And thus ends minute 100 of the Goonies. All right, so here at minute number 100, we just, the chaos continues. We have the cave falling apart, the Goonies trying to get out, but every obstacle is just, continuing to get in their way. The small cave opening that they had, the little bit of access that they had to get out, they basically just completely collapsed with the dynamite. And, they're screwed. The Fratellis have now jumped off the plank. They're coming towards them, so they've got one shot, and that is Sloth.
Did you see Ma jump off?
Yeah, she's kicking her feet.
Yeah, she jumped beautifully off that plank again. Again, let's credit the we should, what we should do before the end of the show? We should find out the name of her stunt double.
Yeah, we probably should.
And then we'll find out that she did all of her stunts.
Yeah, probably.
So that's pretty impressive, but that's one thing that I did notice in that minute. But
yeah,
this was really interesting, and as much as I was not a fan of Sloth as a child because he scared me, he disgusted me, I could imagine his smell. Other than I like the noises he makes, and he's been much more endearing to me as I've grown older. But right at the end, I really thought, until we see him again, that he died. Like he was crushed by the rock. Yeah. As a kid, that's what I always thought.
And it's set up to be plausible. I could see as a little kid seeing this, and the way that everything's being played out. And just how emotional it gets here. Sloth loved Chunk. It's almost like final words you would say to a character. Mm-hmm. And the way, Chunk is pulled out and he's screaming back for him, and Sloth is, screaming for him, and the music swells and everything. It just gets a little too dramatic, and you would think that this guy has just sacrificed his life for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's the way the character goes down, and it would make sense. Okay, to just add to the level of, how messed up everything is here for this poor guy. We got the moment earlier where Ma was trying to manipulate him and sing the Rockabye Baby song to him, and the filmmakers were messing with us by playing this really sentimental music. Well, here at the end, they're messing with us even more through this poor guy. So he's yelling for his mother and then Chunk, and he can't decide and everything, and that topped with the music is just, it's a little too emotional for this movie,
Yeah, I even watching it for the 27th time, I needed a box of tissue paper for the tears.
See, this is one of those performances something that has such an effect through both prosthetics and a performance that doesn't have the ability to give you dialogue to pull at your heartstrings. All this guy has is like a couple of grunts he can make. I think that's why the character of Sloth endures is because of the performance and because of the prosthetic and all these different things that came together to make this iconic character.
It's very memorable.
It's very memorable.
I guess, I know it's a pretty quick minute, but that's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I've got too. And like I said, the next, basically every minute after this is just going to be jam-packed with stuff because we have a special guest on for each episode. That is the rest of the show. That's going to be minutes 101 through 107 starting tomorrow. So everybody, be sure to tune back in tomorrow to hear screenwriter and comic book writer extraordinaire Mark Landry give us his take on the Goonies, and we will see you then. And until then, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies
never say die.
Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram @GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com.
You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at patreon.com/PeleMedia. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/PeleMedia and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/PeleMedia.